Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I've been wanting to come on for a couple days to discuss things that are happening, and so much is happening. But let's talk about the event that happened a couple days ago for me now. Today's Monday. I think it was Saturday. I'm gonna kind of be a little careful with my words. I just don't want to flag YouTube with any words that might get flagged. But you know what I'm talking about with the attack on Donald that had him rushed to the hospital. And if you saw my last reading, these are the cards from my last reading. I have them out because in my last reading, particularly the second half of that last reading, I had seen, well, I called it a health event. I wish I called it a medical event because I do believe that what we saw on Saturday was what we had gotten in this reading, what I had gotten in this reading. I wanted to read on this card because this card, and this is actually a card from the reading before this, that told me that Trump would be having to go somewhere, okay? I'm like, where is he going in the middle of a campaign, right? Now I realize it might seem like he's not really going anywhere, but let's just get into this a little bit because I think this might end up having more of a consequence on his well-being than we think, okay? So I threw cards on this saying, okay, where is Donald going? It's like an exit stage left kind of card, which is interesting because I literally think he exited stage left that day. And, it just didn't seem to fit with a campaign. And then I got this card, was the first card, and I said, it's for sure, I think he's going to be rushed off to the hospital. What I saw is kind of a red cross or a medical emblem there. I think I jumped to his health for a couple reasons. Because first of all, he's this old guy who does not seem healthy, right? But it's also because of this temperance card, upside down like this. It took me to chemical imbalance. So, and by the way, I also did think, I felt that it was going to be, first of all, a mysterious kind of thing, like what just happened and why is he being rushed off and that sort of thing. I saw, conspiracy theories. I saw the news going nuts on this. And I thought that someone maybe was going to poison him, okay? Probably shouldn't have said that word. I thought that maybe, someone was going to tamper with something that would go into his body and cause a chemical imbalance that would cause him to get sick. What I now realize, it occurs to me, I think this reverse temperance, this would be a card of balance. This is a card of imbalance. I think this is the kid. I think what we got here in this reading, the chemical imbalance, I believe relates to the kid. I'm adding a note here because honestly, I didn't really believe this when I said it in the reading, and I don't believe it watching back. I do think Trump is the one with the chemical imbalance moving forward. And I think we're going to see it more moving forward. This sadness card, this 5 of Cups, loss, sadness, this I think is sort of something that people went through because of what happened. Oh, how sad. Almost really, it actually is pretty sad for our country. I think everybody sort of had that feeling in their stomach where their stomach drops a little bit. I mean, look, literally, if you look at this card, there's bloodshed. I mean, look, it was a little blood out of his ear, but there was some bloodshed. So what does it mean, and what else are the cards telling us, right? Now, for me, I saw some more sort of endings, but I am seeing some other things now as well. First of all, it's interesting because I think now these two cards, this Lover's card and this 5 of Wands, is really more about what we were going through right before this event happened. I did say this event would take over the news cycle. I did not think it would happen within days of my reading. It was a weird feeling. Literally the day before it happened. And I mean, my husband's getting a little tripped out because I was trying to figure out more about this reading, and I'm sitting there but I'm telling him, if Trump gets rushed to the hospital, and it seems like there was maybe an attempt on him. There was. I was saying this the day before, and then he's oh my God, he's been attacked. Come in here. I mean, I don't mean to laugh. I don't wish harm or injury upon anyone. But as I was saying, anyway, these cards, I think this was about the infighting with the Democratic Party, the Lovers with the Five of Wands. And then suddenly this happens. Now, I understand that Trump was back to playing golf the next day. And he's like, I'm fine, I'm doing great. I think there's going to be more impact than, he's not going to be a guy who's going to go to therapy and deal with this trauma. And I do think this will contribute to him possibly being on more medication to deal with it, that possibly could contribute to this just imbalance that we might see moving forward. I do think that there's more going on too. As we know, JD Vance has now been selected as his VP. I think there he is, okay? He's here in the cards. Queen of Wands, makes sense, queen to his king, right? I've been hearing other psychics say Trump does not want JD Vance, right? And I think they're right. But I've been thinking it's JD Vance. And there's another thing I said to my husband. I'm like, who's the one guy that gives us a bad feeling in our stomach? And it's like, it's always JD Vance. Like, because I was going to do a reading on that in the last couple of days also. And I was writing down all the names. And I'm like, the only one that gives me a feeling in my stomach, and it's a bad feeling, is JD Vance. No one else has given me anything. I'm like, that's going to be the guy. And then sure enough, it is the guy. The reason I don't think that this was really Trump's pick is this King of Cups. Now, Trump came up as a King of Cups in my reading a couple readings ago, and it's been speaking to me ever since, okay? You might remember I was feeling like he's emotional, right? And it's like, why is he so emotional? And tonight, I felt very validated by that. Like an hour after I recorded this, my sister texted me to turn on the news. And it's because Trump was there, and she was alarmed at how he looked. And I tuned in and immediately saw everything I got in this reading. He is sad. He is shook. He is mad that Vance is his VP. He feels weak and resigned to the fact that he's not in charge. And it was interesting because we both said at the same time, he looks sad. And I was like, oh my God, it's the King of Cups. He's lost. He's sad. He's scared. And I saw that I believe and it makes perfect sense that he's on some medication, probably for anxiety and pain. But I'm afraid if he doesn't deal with his trauma and feelings, which I'm afraid he won't, he might turn to this more and more, and it may contribute to his fading. This is just my guess and intuition on my cards for entertainment purposes only. And I can't help but wonder if some people would not mind him fading and moving on so that they can have their fresh start with their new guy. Heavy stuff. I do want to read on this, okay? You can see in this card, the King of Cups is floating on water. He's not grounded, and also it's kind of like he has to go wherever the tide takes him. And he just feels so powerless to me. And I found that really weird and interesting. And I remember in that reading, I also felt very much like the whole Putin element is around him. And that was when like the Russian airplane was next to the Trump airplane at Dulles Airport for a couple of days. And the card's been talking to me more and more. Basically, the reason he's emotional is because he realizes he's not in control anymore. It's almost like he realizes things are hitting him, okay? What's hitting him? That he's not in control. Okay, in the past, these people who wanted to get control over Trump, they would flatter him and treat him like a very important man. Oh, you're so important. You're so wonderful. Let's talk. Let's be friends. The niceties are over. And I think now they're being not nice to him. They're being harsh, okay? And there's nothing he can do about it because they have stuff on him. I know this sounds very like conspiratorial, but also this situation is also crazy. And I think we know that. And there's a lot of evidence for believing a lot of it. So I not only think that Trump is owned by Putin, I think, and whoever speaks for Putin and comes over in an airplane and lets Trump know what's on the agenda and what he needs to do, okay? But also like the Project 2025 Heritage Foundation people, the people who helped put in those judges at the Supreme Court for entertainment purposes only, who are helping Trump in all these ways, they also I just feel like they own him too. Like these people just, and they're not being nice to him anymore. Okay, he's not being treated like an important person. I think Trump feels like he's disappearing, and I think he is. And I know you might say, well, that's impossible. He just looked like a hero on the stage, but like, okay, it's 24 hours later, and I feel like, or 48 hours later, and it's just weirdly kind of gone. It's just not lasting. And I agree with others who said Trump doesn't want JD Vance, because JD Vance is going to outshine him, and JD Vance already is. I mean, even though, look, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I'm in the middle of this right now. I had to like try to get myself away from the news and Twitter, which I still call it and always will. But with hearing all this stuff coming out on JD Vance, but even like Trump gets jealous. Like I was saying, he was even jealous of Biden when everyone was talking about Biden. And he's like, hey, what about me? And then he was sort of in the news for a day, and now everyone's talking about JD Vance and Trump. Like I guess he's going to show up to the thing this week, but I got the feeling that in my reading, I got the feeling he was kind of going to become absent, at least for a little while. Like I thought he was going to be going to the hospital and like would kind of like disappear for a little while. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be coming back this week and showing up at the, I guess he has to go to that convention. I guess they're making him the nominee and all that. But I don't know if there's something about this JD Vance, like, are they losing money? This is a 5 of Pentacles money loss. I don't think the money loss relates to JD Vance so much. I think it's money loss or debt that is being held over Donald. I think that's part of how others have control over him. And of course, the 5 of Pentacles is also just injury and loss in general. Just all the bad feels. And also, I don't think Trump's feeling well. I know it's just his ear, but I was thinking today, and I should not laugh at this, but he is going to be pretty unhappy if he has like a piece of his ear missing. That's got to be like kind of a weird, I don't know. It's not funny, but it probably hurts. And it might be hitting him in certain ways, like a trauma would. Like that he's a little nervous, that this is kind of scary. I don't know. Especially as well with this King of Cups where he already feels kind of lost. He might even be having like paranoia. Like, why did that happen to me? Like, I know, well, and actually it's kind of a good question. Like before I turned on the camera, I was kind of looking at these cards again, and I'm like, here's this 10 of Swords. This is a 10 swords through the back. I'm like, is JD Vance their guy now? And like, I don't know. Look, and also this Wheel of Fortune, like, time's up. Like, I don't know, the luck is out. I feel like I didn't emphasize enough, or this card just keeps hitting me more, how meaningful this upside down Wheel of Fortune is. If you're talking about a candidate in a race, this would be the end of the road. You got flipped upside down. You have nowhere to go. There's no future. It's done. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't want to give false hope, but this is the feeling I get. And I think you can see it too with these cards. Even, it seemed lucky. I've never seen anything so lucky as him only getting his ear hit in that. And by the way, I should cover the question of Was that real? Did that really happen? Was it a setup? Because it did seem a little like a setup because of the way he pounded his fist and the way he got so lucky. And it only nicked his ear. I don't know. Like and because like this is the kind of thing that will make him seem like kind of like a martyr figure or a hero. Like, look how tough and strong. It just felt like, oh, you gotta be kidding me that just happened. And he got that photo op. But after about 24 hours, I had kind of given up on that theory. It just doesn't really make sense in a lot of ways. I really think that it was just a screwed up kid here. But it does seem, it's funny, I was just like kind of like going back to my last reading to make sure I had the cards right. And I heard myself say about this card, it's almost like on the world stage, there's going to be some theater. The theater exists to teach us lessons or something. So I felt like that's such a great example of, I guess, what that was. Like, even though it seemed like it was giving favor to this guy who just does nothing but lie and make himself out to be some savior. So why would there be favor given to him? Why would he always have all this luck to get out of everything, to literally dodge every bullet? But I just feel like that the lesson is more for, like, I don't know, the rest of us. And I just have to, basically, like, what choices are we going to make? Like this Two of Pentacles, like we have to make the choice, and you have to see things clearly. And it's just like more of a test for us. Get real and make choice. Like, I feel like a lot of us have already gotten real. We already kind of see things clearly, but maybe there are things that will happen that will make others see things more clearly. And we just kind of have to sit back and let it happen. So like on the JD Vance front, with this Seven of Swords, it's like, and this Devil card and this Five of Pentacles, it almost gives me like, I don't know, is JD Vance there to sort of steal the nomination, steal the day, steal the attention, steal the ticket? I don't know. There's some powerful kind of creeps that are very aligned with him, like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. And that feeling I got with Trump anyway, he's kind of just floating. He gets terrible cards. I don't know if he's like being elbowed out or what. But I do want to throw some cards on this King of Cups and see if we get, more bad cards for him or any other like events moving forward. It's also possible, like, because I talked about like kind of stress he could have that is going to hurt his health. Like, this trauma happening to him is not going to be good for his health. I mean, I see that here. I mean, we can see that in this Five of Pentacles. It's not like, you might think he's bouncing back and maybe he does some performative, stuff to appear like stronger than ever, but I don't know, I think is like, I still think that he doesn't have a new life here, like, which is something I got in a reading a couple times back. Like, it was like an upside down Fool card. Fool would be like a new beginning, a new adventure, and it's just like, no, his like, and I keep getting the, these ending cards, this Ten of Swords. It's just like, kind of like the journey's over for him. But now I'm wondering, is this JD Vance thing like sort of meant to be put in place? And is that something to worry about? So we will, maybe we can read on both of those things. By the way, I turned off my camera to shuffle just so I wouldn't be like putting more time on my phone camera, and look what came out, this Ten of Swords again, as I was like shuffling to just kind of mix up the cards. That's what I keep getting coming out for Trump. Ending. Well, yeah, ending. Watching back every time I mention this Ten of Swords card, I keep expecting myself to say stabbed in the back, and I'm not saying it. So I'm just adding this note here. That's also another meaning to this card. It's not only the end, but you got stabbed in the back. I forgot that I was going to be reading. Well, okay, you know what? I was going to read on that King of Cups. but I ended up putting it back in the deck, so maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. And maybe we should read on this Ten of Swords, because this really, I think I'm getting more than anything for Trump. So we will read on that. Okay, this seems to want to come out. The Lovers, I keep getting the Lovers card too. That's his base, I think. Well, and I've also often seen it as those who own him, right? Which I see as like the Putins and the like Heritage Foundation guys. I say guys, maybe there's women, but it sure seems pretty masculine, male dominance kind of thing, you know, white male dominance. Right. So these two together, is it possible that I mean, it would make more sense now that this guy Vance is in. He's the one who's giving me the gut kick every time I thought of him. Like, he's the one who scares me. There was a lot of subtext to what I was just getting at here, and then I kind of move on to other things. So I'll just make it more clear that, yes, I do start wondering in this reading if there could possibly be a twist in that conspiracy theory about what happened with that kid trying to take out Donald, relating more to his own party. I'm literally too tired to take this very seriously right now, so I'm just going to leave that there. I'm sure that my logic will make me realize that's crazy, but it is a little more weirdly believable, to be honest, as I get more into this reading. But I just wanted to cover that because I feel like some of you might be thinking the same thing. Like, these two cards together, just on their own, would tell a story of someone you trust and are supposed to be very committed to, stabs you in the back and destroys you. So I'm just reading the cards. And of course, I do not know anything. This is only for entertainment purposes only. And like, I honestly, while I was shuffling, I thought of something that also gave me a little bit of a gut punch, which is, I don't really know as a reader if it's like bad form to mention other readers' readings, but I don't really see why not. So, because I look at things like a puzzle and a clue, and there's certain people that I really like will hear their readings, and, you know, like Cash Peters, he does a muscle test. He keeps doing this muscle test to get an answer about who the nominees are going to be. He gets Biden as the nominee. Every time he tests Trump, Trump's not the nominee, right? That stands out to me when like, for instance, when I saw that, like, where's Trump going, right? In my reading. And like, also, and it just hit me, another reader that is just so fantastic, Kim at Intuitive View, for like 2 years now, she's been saying that she sees the nominee. She doesn't see Trump as the nominee. She sees the nominee as someone like a Pence, which is so interesting to me, because I was just like seeing on Twitter, everyone's making the joke about how Vance and Pence are just two like letters away, you know what I mean, from each other, like spelling wise. So they'll barely have to change the signs. But it just kind of hit me in that weird way. And then we get these cards. So I wonder if that's why I felt Trump as afraid and emotional, right? Like I said in that King of Cups card, why is he afraid and emotional? And why does he, it's like they're not, like people are not, it's almost like they're, like he's in a room and they're talking to each other and they're not even asking for his opinion. Like that's how he's starting to feel in rooms now. Like, hello, do I even exist? I mean, like, you know, I mean, I can't like feel bad for him. He should kind of, you know, have wised up about who he's, you know, making deals with the devil left and right. I mean, I'm sure like once you're able to like get people, Supreme Court justices that are going to serve you, they kind of own you now, you know? Okay, so we've got these two cards. Let's see what else. So reaching out for guidance and truth on where we are and what's coming for Donald Trump. What's the story here? Just looking for more guidance. Oh my goodness. There's that upside down. I mean, there's this 9 of Swords, which is like pure anxiety. It's almost as bad as the 10 of Swords. I do see it up here and upside down. You know, I think this is sort of saying this is sort of how people feel right now was, you know, they were worried and now they're not worried because they have confidence that their guy is okay. So it's sort of like an anxiety, but reversed, like, oh, phew, everything's okay. I also feel it though for Trump as like, I should be relieved, but I'm not. I just don't think things are sitting well with him at all. And he can't quite figure it out. Gosh, it's like my own reading is now making me question that thing where people are saying it seems like a setup. But no, they wouldn't have done that before they announced JD Vance. If JD Vance was their guy, they would have waited till he was in place to do something like that. If we're like, talking about a conspiracy theory where they set out, someone to take out their candidate or something. Because you would want him to pick Vance to get that base before, anyway. Jeez, another one. There it is again. He's leaving. Where is he going? He's gone. He's off. It's like they've already removed it. It's like somewhere, this is beneath the surface also. It's like they're either planning on removing him or keeping him a little less in the spotlight. It's interesting because it's like also reminding me of what Democrats keep like saying they want to do to Biden, right? Like, it's just the irony that I kind of feel like that might be what they're doing to Trump. Like, let's bring in a young, strong new guy who maybe doesn't have like all these like felonies and other things. And anyway, I mean, I can't believe this card came up again, as in, it's like, like if I were to say, well, maybe that card just meant he had to leave the stage that day on TV. But if it's here again, it's like, I think you just not going to see as much of him. That's just like, it's like they're taking him away. I mean, like, it's like, all right, we're going to take you over here, sir. And we're going to just kind of like, you're going to go over here for now. It's like, he's just like, it's very weird. Okay, what else? I mean, it's definitely reiterating for me. Ugh, too much came out, I can't. Ugh. Knight of Cups with embattlement here. Seven of Wands. I mean, this card kept coming up for me with like Biden having to battle and hold his ground, right? Which he is doing, which I said he would do. And this Knight of Cups feels like this was a gift given to Trump, I believe. This embattling Biden was somehow a gift to Trump. I mean, not somehow, I guess we can see it like, which would make sense of just kind of the insanity of the media. To me, it just started to feel like that feeling of you're in the horror movie when you're like, the call is coming from inside the house, like the killer's inside the house. I kept thinking that reference where it's like, I don't know, it's just like, you do start to think about who like owns the media, who owns these, which I always sort of hated that kind of talk. But it is true that some of these media outlets had been bought by big money, right wing. And so it's just, okay, so got it. That's part of the story. Strength. All right. I'm just going to sit with that for a minute and pull some other cards. Temperance, this time upright. Well, I mean, these are good cards. Friendship. All good cards. Five of Pentacles. The Empress. So it's interesting. These cards have like a very different energy than these cards, okay? This is where it honestly just feels like that new beginning, like coming out strong, balanced, like appearing to be like better people. Page of Pentacles. A young guy, I mean, the Empress is a beautiful card. I don't really know what it would have to do with these people. It's like, this is literally like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde reading right now with the way these cards feel versus these cards. This feels like a brand new beginning right here. Justice, that's nice. I don't know, this just feels like a brand new day, but it feels like a good day. But I mean, it's weird because I don't know. All I can say is it just feels like something ended here and this was like a brand new thing. King of Pentacles. This is Biden. Biden is our King of Pentacles. He came out that way on the debate because Biden has the Pentacles. He doesn't have the big booming voice, but the King of Pentacles has the goods. And the Empress brings me to that too. Brings me to like a really like happy ending for the earth, for like the balance that isn't so overly masculine, and justice. And like I said, this just all feels so nice and balanced and sunshiny, and this feels like dark and like it's coming to an end. So it's almost like yeah, like it's like sitting pretty. Ace of Pentacles. I remember getting the Ace of Pentacles when I did the Biden debate, and I'm like, how is he gonna do? And like at the end, after I'd done the cards, this Ace of Pentacles fell out, and I was like, he's gonna win. So somehow this was a reading on Trump, and it ended. And then there was like a brand new beginning with these wonderful cards that do not feel like he is there anymore, okay? And it ends with Biden winning. So I'm not gonna try to understand this too much right now. I always love the idea that you guys might follow along as I look at the cards and have some impressions, and feel free to like put your comments below. And I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. If you were interested in a personal reading, which we would do just like this for you, you can reach me at SparrowReadings@gmail.com, or you can find my little generic little website at littlesparrowtarot.com. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye. By the way, I just decided to peek underneath this Ace of Pentacles. And remember who we said was the Queen of Wands? Here's the Queen of Wands upside down with that Devil card. I think that if it does end up being Biden and they, versus JD Vance, or if somehow Trump has to exit the scene and he's the ticket, that he's not going to win, okay? And by he's not going to win, I'm referring to JD Vance not winning and sticking with Joe Biden, yes, winning. So that's what I'm getting. That's my feeling. That's what I believe the cards are telling us. So thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye.